Hey guys, and welcome on into the next NHL offseason preview show. Today we're going to be talking all about the Colorado Avalanche, taking a look at their offseason and what they have to get accomplished before the upcoming season starts. If you are new, make sure to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and if you're a Colorado Avalanche fan, make sure to leave your comments in the video, what you think the Avalanche need to do. What you agree with me about and what you disagree with me about, leave it all in the comments below. We're going to jump right into it here and start with the first segment, which is draft picks and management. Chris McFarland, general manager of the Avalanche, Jared Bednar, head coach. No changes this offseason at the time of this video recording, of course. So nothing to really announce there, unlike some other teams that need to fill those positions. And then when you look at draft picks, well, the cupboard's pretty bare. The Avalanche have their 4th round pick and their 7th round pick, and that's it. They don't have a pick in the first 3 rounds of the draft or the 5th or 6th round. So at this point in time, if this is how things head into the draft, Avalanche fans won't really have much to pay attention to in the draft at this point. But, of course, that could change heading into the draft. Taking a look at free agents, this is a much bigger list compared to the draft pick list. So the Avalanche at this moment currently have 8 exactly, projected to have $8,700,000 in cap space. And as you can see here, they have 7 UFAs and 1 RFA this upcoming offseason. I think getting Sam Linsky signed shouldn't be much trouble. I think that is the first objective. And then it's to really take a look at the rest of these UFAs. Does Colorado maybe give Erik Johnson a cheap 1-year deal? Try to keep him around. I think that could be a good look. Jonathan Drew and Brock Nelson, neither of them, they're both not staying. You can't keep both. It would absolutely shock me if they re-signed both. Cap-wise, I think they'd have to make some trades that way. Ryan Lindgren, I think he probably moves on. Jimmy Vesey, Yoel Kiviranta, Tucker Pullman, I think they all go on to other teams. The Avalanche have a lot of guys in this list, but they only have $8.7 million to work with. So with the cap increasing this year and the next 2 years, the Avalanche will have more to work with next season, but at this point, it's just impossible for them to keep all the guys on this list. So they'll really have to focus on who they want to keep, bring back. I think Sam Linsky, RFA, defenseman is a good look. Maybe keep Erik Johnson on a cheap 1-year deal. And then if you want to keep Jonathan Drouin, I think that would be a good look. I think Brock Nelson probably goes on to another team. I'd be pretty shocked to see him stay in Colorado just because of the forward depth for the Avalanche. And as you can see, the Avalanche has forward depth. McKinnon, Charlie Coyle, Ross Colton, Jack Drury down the middle. I think that's a 4 pretty. Obviously, McKinnon, a superstar player. Charlie Coyle, I think he's a good second-line player, especially if he's playing with guys like Landeskog and Nichushkin. There's a lot of talent there. That's a very strong top 6. Ross Colton, I think, is a perfect third-line guy. He does have that offensive capability when he's healthy. He can definitely bring offense. And then Jack Drury, I think, has potential still. It could potentially be a third-line center on other teams. And then you have, as well, some young guys, Ivan, Nikita Prishepkov as well. So there's some other options here. If there's injuries, you want to move guys up and down the lineup. But overall, looking at this offensive group, even without Jonathan Drouin, even without Brock Nelson, I think it looks pretty good. overall. Now, the Avalanche could go and sign another top 9 forward, maybe a guy with some more offensive skill to put in that third line. That could be a potential look, but they don't have to. I don't think they have to add anyone when it comes to the forward group. Left wingers available. Of course, Jonathan Drouin is one of them. So the Avalanche could look to re-sign him, or maybe they surprise me and they go after one of the other top left wingers available. I think a right winger might be more in their need if they do want another winger. Centers, as I said, I don't see Brock Nelson coming back, and I don't really see them going after another center unless it's a guy who plays center and wing. Right wingers, I don't really see anyone on this list that I think would go to Colorado, but it wouldn't shock me actually to see a guy like Kyle Palmieri end up there. As I said, I don't think the offense is a credible need for the Avalanche. I think overall they have a pretty deep lineup offensively. RFAs, which reminds me, I totally forgot to mention about the Avalanche's offer sheet capability earlier on in the show. The Avalanche are able to offer a trade for a player, they are able to offer an offer sheet to a player for over $11,700,193. But other than that, they are not able to offer sheet a player unless they're below $1.5 million. So that's what happens when you trade away a lot of your draft picks. You just don't have that capability to sign a guy to an offer sheet. And you're not getting any of these guys for less than $1.5 million. And could we see one of these guys get over $11.7 million? Very possibly, but I don't think from Colorado. I don't think it's Colorado's the team that would do that. So I don't think they are in the running for any of these guys on this list. Defensemen, Devon Toews, Cale Makar in the top pair, as always. No surprises there. Samuel Girard and Josh Manson on the second pair. That's a great second D pair. Keaton Middleton, brother of Jake Middleton on the Minnesota Wild, and Sam Linsky on that third pair, and then John Ludwig as an extra defenseman. As I said, maybe the Avalanche want to bring back a guy like Eric Johnson just to have some more defensive depth here. I think if they are going to add a player, I do think it should be a defenseman. I think just adding some depth defensemen, injuries are going to happen. Heaven forbid Devon Toews and Cale Makar miss time at the same time. Well, then your D core is extremely depleted. If you lose that top pair, or even if you lose Girard or Manson at the same time, that would also hurt the defense core. So the Avalanche could use some depth at defense, but again, they could run with what they have now. They could go after one of these guys. I'm just not sure. The Avalanche are a tricky team here with the cap space they have. They're most likely going to be going after really cheap depth guys, I think, overall, if they add any extra players. Goaltenders. Now, when I look at Mackenzie Blackwood and I look at Scott Wedgwood, of course, both Woods, when I look at these two guys, I would think, in my opinion, that there is some goaltending question marks. But when you look at what these two guys did last season for the Avalanche, Blackwood, 22 wins, 12 losses, 3 overtime losses, 2.33 goals against average, and a .913 save percentage. Wedgwood was 13-4-1 with a 1.99 goals against average and a .917 save percentage. So both goaltenders played much better than the goalies that the Avalanche had previously in Georgiev, Justisanen, and Kapokakinen, much improved were the goaltending with Blackwood and Wedgwood. So do we think that they come back with those same numbers next year? I think it's the defense core has been really strong in front of them. I think that they really benefited from that. Those are really good numbers, and I don't know if they put up those numbers again. And there could be some question marks with the goaltending, but the Avalanche felt no question marks with Blackwood giving him a 5-year deal last season, so they believe in him heading into this next season. Top UFA goaltenders, I would assume that Kapokakinen is probably not going back to Colorado. Same with Georgiev. I don't know if they go out and get another depth goaltender. Again, I think they're more likely like one of the other teams that would add a guy during the season if need be. But overall, don't see much need for a goaltender at this point, assuming that the Woods, Blackwood and Wedgwood, both perform the way they did last year. Then I don't really think there's much need for the Avalanche to add a goaltender in the offseason. Taking a look at offseason tasks, and really, there's not a whole lot. Resign RFA Sam Linsky, look at some depth cheap options. The Avalanche, as I said, they have some cap space in $8.7 million. And I think it might be smart to potentially hold on to some of that for the trade deadline. Looking at the lineup, as we have just looked at, the Colorado Avalanche have a solid lineup from top to bottom. Maybe add some depth cheap options, re-sign Malinsky, but they don't have to go after a top free agent in the offseason. They could look at a guy at the trade deadline when they have more, when they've seen how the most of the season has gone, they know their weaknesses. Maybe that is when they go after and add someone. So really for the Colorado Avalanche here in this offseason, stay the course. Stay the course with what you've already been doing. Re-sign your RFA, maybe add some cheap depth options. But then again, I'm not an Avalanche fan, but if you are an Avalanche fan, let me know what you think they should do this offseason. I'm pretty sure Avalanche fans aren't going to agree that they should kind of stand pat with what they've got. And I can understand that. I just think that you can sign somebody and then maybe you can make other trades at the deadline. But I think this Avalanche team is pretty solid. Add some cheap depth options. And then if you need to make a trade at the deadline to bolster your lineup, you do it then. But that's my thoughts on the Colorado Avalanche. Let me know what you think about the Avs, what you think they should do this offseason. Make sure to hit the like button and the subscribe button if you are new to the channel. And continue on watching as we continue on with more off-season preview shows.